Hello, everyone. This is Dowster, and welcome back to another Mental Health Talks. And today I'll be your host. Also, I wanted to apologize for not being able to do a mental health talks a couple days ago because I unfortunately have been like really busy with dealing with stuff and just you know the usual life things. But I wanted to do mental health talks number two. I'm not really familiar with some of the things on Twitch, so if you guys could see what I'm doing on Twitch, let me know if the sound's doing okay or not, because I'm still kind of new at this. um, so today's mental health talks, I wanted to focus on being a YouTuber and let me see. Okay, here it is. Being a YouTuber and also juggling, with mental health illness. But in case you guys didn't know, I have a uh I have a mental disorder. I have major depression disorder, and it's a bit hard sometimes, but I try to go with my life and deal with it as much as I can. But I guess I could tell you guys, what's been going on with juggling my mental health illness and how I'm dealing with with like being a YouTuber and all, and it gets difficult at times, but you manage to get through life somehow, some way. Um, Comment down below if you're having any problems, because right here it says that there's issues going on YouTube Live, but let me see. Yeah, this should take an hour, depending on how things are. Um, so when I started YouTube, I actually one of my first visited videos was like it was it was about ovarian cancer for a class, and since then, I never really did YouTube, but as time progressed, I wanted to do YouTube because it was something I wanted to work on and hopefully make it, and hopefully one day get paid for it, because being a YouTuber, it's not that easy, but it's not that hard as people would say it is. I'm there for a class, and since then, I never really did YouTube. Wait, but hold on, sorry about as that. Time progressed, I wanted to do. What the heck? How did that happen? Okay, but let me see. So the truth is that I don't have the right answer, but I do have some advice regarding how to handle mental illness and wanting to, or if you want to be a YouTuber. Being a YouTuber is not easy, and you always got to have ideas and the right niche. NICHE, in case you guys don't understand what I'm saying. Um, what it basically is that it's some kind of thing like what you're interested in, because I know some people, they struggle with trying to maintain a balance between trying to put out content. And when you put out content, you want to make sure like it's safe content, because nowadays, you can't post inappropriate things, or I mean, if you could say, maybe you could say bad words, but I don't recommend it. Um when I started my YouTube channel, I wanted to focus on doing like Funko Pops. But unfortunately, over time, people just, let me see. It says on YouTube it's not receiving any good quality. Um, but let me know if you guys could hear me. Um, I guess you know, being a when I first the reason why I wanted to do a YouTube channel in the beginning was because I was unemployed for a really long time. It was very difficult because being a YouTuber and stuff, it's never easy, and I've always been really camera shy. Like, I never show my face, but it's because of my weight. It's been a really big problem, and I don't know if you guys could tell, but I've gained a lot of weight over the years since after high school, and it's not easy to lose weight. And so that's why I always like talk among my videos. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started YouTube, like taking it seriously, I I hated my voice. I've always hated my voice. I always thought my voice was so annoying to the point where I'm just like how do you handle dealing with someone that is so annoying, that's so nasal? Like, don't people get tired of your voice? But over time, I managed to get used to it, and because of YouTube, it made me really appreciate my voice a lot. Um, in case you guys are wondering, I actually drew this. I know it looks like for little kids. Um, but I don't know. It was just something I wanted to draw. Usually, like I said, I don't like to display my face online unless I know I'm okay with it. I know I say a lot, but I'm trying to figure out things. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try and stop saying that so much. But oh God. Okay. In case you're wondering, there's not much viewers. I'm streaming through Twitch and YouTube Live, so and I also put the links too in case you guys are interested in donating money. Any money that comes out that's donated will be used to improve the stream and stuff. But let me know if you guys are having problems because sometimes I do things and I'm just like, okay, so yeah, so I'm not sure how you guys are doing it at the other end. Hopefully it's coming out okay. Um, Let me see. I was talking about how you juggle mental illness with YouTube streaming. Well, back when I started YouTube, I was hoping to do Funko Pops, and when I did Funko Pops, I thought it would work, but unfortunately, it didn't really work out as I had hoped for because, like, a lot of people just were not into Funko Pops anymore. Like, Funko's right now, Funko's in a slum. I don't know if you guys have collected Funko Pops or have been keeping up to date with Funko Pops. Um, there are a lot of good Funko Pop YouTubers out there, actually. And unfortunately, I wasn't getting a lot of views from the Funko Pops. I guess people were just getting tired of Funko Pops in general. So I also tried to work on Marvel commentary. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, I used to do like Funko commentary, but I stopped doing it because I mean not Funko commentary, Marvel commentary, like talking about the latest Marvel news and Marvel stuff and what I heard so far. And a lot of people just were not into that Marvel commentary. I guess maybe people were just tired of Marvel. I was always a big Marvel Studios type of fan. I've been a fan for the movies for a really long time. I remember around the time I was in a really dark phase in 2017, 2018. I don't know if you guys have watched my videos and know, but my father unfortunately got deported in 2017 during Thanksgiving, and yeah, it's almost 6 years since that happened. And during that time, I just was not in a really good place. I was struggling mentally and just like it was just really bad. Like I think I was trying to instead of just dealing it head on and just helping my family, I ended up like associating myself with like just ignoring the pain and just like distract myself with hello, what was that? I thought I heard something. And I was just I guess I was trying to find the love of my life, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately, as good as I had hoped for. um I got in a really bad situation with some really not so great people, and it was really hard, and I did the best that I could, and I did whatever I can to get through life, but it was very hard. I remember just feeling very weak and just not feeling like myself, and just being in a really dark phase where didn't I didn't know what to do. Like, I was depending on a guy that I thought was a really great person, but he turned out to be a really bad person. And long story short, I I I tried to do the best to get over him. And then Marvel came and I was like really into it. Oh, hi Bill. How are you? Thanks for joining the chat. I don't know if you could hear the static over there, or if the quality's pretty good. But anyway, going back to the whole thing, Marvel really changed my life. Like, I became more into the movies, and that's when I started getting really into how do you say it, like the superheroes and stuff. And I wanted to do like a Marvel commentary, but no one was really into that. And I think over time you just gotta find the right niche. You just need to figure out like what's something you really like that you know you'll do good in. Like, and I thought maybe I would do good in the Marvel commentary, but unfortunately, I guess no one was really into that stuff. I guess people just wanted to focus on other things. So I tried to find other things, whatever I can, and then I know it was a little exhausting and intimidating at first, because you would think people would be interested in what you're looking at, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, cool." Um, but unfortunately, that's not how it is. And I know, having a mental disorder, you have to understand, and I don't know if it's possible to understand, but you have to understand that not everyone's gonna like what you like, and people are gonna be judgmental, and that's fine. But as long as they don't bully you and tell you that you suck, or you're ugly, or you're stupid, then you should be fine. But I guess I was trying to find my niche, and once I did find my niche, I was kind of surprised at how many people were really into the whole abandoned stuff. Like, for example, when I first did the store closing in Sears, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I did the first Sears store closing in, what was that thing? Oh yeah, it was Orange. It was at the Village at Orange. That was the first video that I actually got a little bit more views. Okay, thank you, Bill. I'm glad, because like I thought my video quality was doing bad because it's saying on my end there's an error going on. Okay, but yeah. But anyway, thank you. Um but going back to the store closing at Sears in the Village at Orange, I did it with a Funko Pop because I thought it was just to try to like make it more fun and try to make it more exciting, and I thought maybe Funko Pops would do justice with it. And I was kind of surprised with the amount of views. I think I had like 20 or so views on that video as of now. And then I started doing like the Long Beach one, which I'm not gonna lie, when I went to Long Beach, I was very scared, because the guy that I had a crush on, that made my life a living nightmare after my dad got deported. His friends live around Long Beach, and one of his friends does not like me for some reason. I guess maybe he thought I was a creep or something, which I understand. I was like, again, I was in a really dark place that time after my father got deported. And when I went to Long Beach and did the Sears closing in Long Beach, I mean, it was really fun, but again, I was kind of nervous. But I did it with Falcon, and I thought people would be interested because I really like Falcon, Sam Wilson. In case you don't know who Falcon Sam Wilson plays in Marvel Studios, it's Anthony Mackie, and I really like his character in how do you call it? In the Captain America movies. I love Captain America, and it was very surprising that a lot of people just kept on watching some of these videos, and I'm like, maybe I should start doing more abandoned or store closings. And then I started doing like, hold on. When I did the abandoned Sears at Westminster, it was a lot of walking. Like, literally. Oh my god. Like, I think if you were trying to exercise and get a good workout or walk, I would recommend going to Westminster Mall. There's a lot of walking to do. Let me see. But when I did that, I forgot to bring a Funko Pop. The first one I brought was Captain America Steve Rogers. And the second one for the Long Beach, it was Falcon. And for the Westminster one, I decided to use my own voice. And I don't know if you guys could hear the fire truck sirens. They're pretty loud. I have a lot of them around here in my neighborhood. But anyway, yeah, I forgot to bring one of my Funko Pops to help me with narrate the video, but unfortunately, it just I completely forgot, and I had this transportation that I use, and once they come, you have to go, like immediately. You can't just they can't wait for you that long. Some of them are nice though, but some of them are just like, yeah, you need to go right now. Get out of your house, and we need to go to this place right now. And I'm like, okay, fine, man. And so I went to Westminster Mall at the abandoned Sears, and when I went there, at first I'm like, yeah, everyone's gonna hate my video. They're gonna be like, who's this annoying nasal person? Like literally, she's so annoying. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do the best I can to make this a good video and make sure everyone's okay with this video, and hopefully, some people will like it, like all the other videos. And to my surprise, a lot of people liked it. And I think it has like 100 views right now. I'm not so sure. I haven't checked on that either. But I was really surprised that people really liked the abandoned Sears Westminster, and I was like, I think I got something here. So I started doing more abandonings, and the reason why I got so into abandoned places was because something about abandoned places just always strikes me as kind of artistic, but more like kind of sad, but kind of beautiful in some way. I know it's weird, but when I did the abandoned Sears in Westminster, I had some stories that I told, about how I went to Westminster Mall, and me and my family we all went and we bought some stuff from that Sears, and it was good quality too. Back then Sears used to have some really good quality. Nowadays, if you go to a Sears, which there's hardly any Sears in California, all their clothing is awful. Like, not that good as it once was. Let me see. But I told my stories about the Sears, and how when I went to Westminster Mall the first time, it was huge. I wanted to explore every single one of it. It was a really happy time in my childhood because I had my mom, my dad, my brothers, and yeah, we have a lot of some memories there. And even as I got older and started taking the bus by myself, I did go to Westminster Mall after school. Even though I was at Cyprus. I was studied all the way from Cyprus, and then I went all the way to Westminster Mall. It was just something I really like to do. I usually like to. Well, at first I liked to shop at Book Off, and I used to buy like DVDs, and mostly DVDs. But unfortunately, I it was starting to get a little expensive, so and then I started getting into Funko Pops, but now the Book Off is now in Garden Grove. In case you guys are wondering, like, oh, where's the Book Off? It's in Garden Grove. It moved to Garden Grove, which is a lot closer and better, in my opinion, because who's this? Okay, sorry. Oh no, don't tell me it's a chatbot. No, thank you. I'm not doing it. Okay, But yeah, I'm surprised I even got a chatbot right here. And I could see why certain people don't like chatbots. Go away. I don't want a bot in my chat room. Please. I'm not getting your promotion. Sorry. But what was I saying? I was talking about mental. No, I was talking about the memories I had going to Westminster. So after I did the Westminster, I really felt like a lot of people really like my videos of abandoning, so I started doing a lot of those. And supposedly that's when I started getting more subscriptions. No, not subscriptions, subscribers. And it made me really happy because back then I was very shy when I first started doing YouTube, but eventually, it starts getting easier once you get the hang of it and find your niche. And as a person who is very insecure, okay, I'm not really insecure, but I'm kind of insecure. I think YouTube made me into a better person. Not, I don't think a better person, but maybe a person who's like willing to show themselves online. And even though I don't show myself online that much, my true face, I think people know what I look like. Um, but along with being a YouTuber, you also have to understand that you probably won't hit off like 1 million subscribers. You have to really experiment with YouTube. Like, if you're into art, let's say, for example, if you're into art and you like to draw, then you could do like maybe a stream or Twitch stream and maybe try to do some art and um, maybe do some kind of things. I'm not sure how you would do the videos because I've seen some Twitch streamers that are able to like do like those two-way, like, they show the camera on themselves and then they show what they're working on, and I'm like, how do they do that? I mean, I could do that if I could. I used to be very artistic back then in my youth. I remember I remember I had this Pokemon book, and it had like the second generation Pokemon from the Johto region, and I drew almost all of them. But I mean, some of them I didn't draw so good. Some of them I did, and when I showed it to my classmates in second grade or fourth grade, they were like, "Wow, you're really good at this." I'm like, "Really?" Because at first I thought it just sucked, but I guess people were really into it. And sometimes I display my drawings here on my Twitch stream or YouTube stream or YouTube Live actually. Um, so, but if it doesn't work out, you could always do like if say you're into DC, like DC comics or comic books in general, not the movies, then you could talk about it. I don't know if you could do like pictures, but maybe if that would work good, because sometimes I use pictures for some of my videos, like the music topic videos and the movie reviews. Sometimes, depending on how the location is, because sometimes when I do movie reviews, I try to do them at a specific spot. But the problem with that is that sometimes there are people that just show up out of nowhere and they're like, "Hey," or they're just like walking by and you're like, "Ah." And it's not that I hate recording people. It's just I don't like recording people on my videos unless they want to be recorded, because I don't want to be rude and be like and just record videos when they're right there, and I'm like, well, what if they don't like what if they don't like to be on video? I mean, I would hate it if someone recorded me and without my permission. So I try to be as loyal and respectful to the community as well. Try not to record everyone while I'm at the store, because I know if I were in that position, I wouldn't like it either. Especially with like my appearance, it's not that great as of now. I mean, I hate to brag, but I like my eyebrows, especially when, well, I like most of the time I like my eyebrows when they're waxed pretty good. But then they start growing again, and it's like, ugh, I had to go to the salon meet again, and get my eyebrows waxed, unfortunately. But I guess when I started doing the abandonings, I was really excited about it. I have a lot of memories towards some of the abandoned places I've been. And then I started doing holiday decorations, which I don't know if you guys watch my YouTube videos and have seen the holiday decorations like Christmas and what's that other thing? Christmas and Halloween. Oh, how did I not know that? Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, Easter. I remember when I was in first grade, I had a teacher. Her name was, well, I don't know if I can mention the name, but her name was, no, actually, I'm not going to say it just in case. And I remember when I first went to her first grade class, she had a piano in her classroom, which I thought was kind of cool because not a lot of teachers have like pianos in their classrooms. And I remember we would sing songs in her class in first grade. And I remember we had a big songbook full of songs, like from Halloween songs to Christmas songs. And I remember growing up in elementary school, we had some like little like, I wouldn't say they're concerts, but they're like performances, like Christmas and other things. And when I started doing when I and I feel like my first grade teacher, she really like showed us like the meaning of certain holidays. Like I remember when we did an Easter, we dyed a an Easter egg, and I had it hot pink. And I remember, I can't remember if it was in first grade, but I remember when, I'm trying to remember, oh man, we had like a little Christmas tree, and I got my picture taken with the Santa hat, and what the heck? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to I'm trying to figure out what's the noises going on. I think it's just my brothers watching NBA as usual. Um, Oh, I remember Thanksgiving when we were celebrating Thanksgiving, and it was before when I found out the truth about Thanksgiving, that unfortunately it's not, as they would say, a good holiday. I mean, it's still one of my favorite holidays because you get to eat a lot, and you get to hang out with your family. Well, for some people it might not be easy, but for some it's kind of easy. And I remember my teacher, she had us like, we would use like the shapes, like squares, triangles, circles, etc., etc., and we would have the stickers and put them in like these vests. And then we had like the pilgrim hats, like the ones that you see on Thanksgiving during elementary, and then Native Americans. I think the best one were for the Native Americans. I don't know if you guys are okay with me saying Native Americans, because I know one of my brothers recently told me that you have to say indigenous. But let me know if you find the Native American part offensive. But you'd rather hear me say indigenous, by the way. But I think we had like a little party, and it was kind of fun, and yeah, I'll never forget those times. They were really fun times. And that's why I started doing the holiday decorations, because I wanted people to see, like, how excited I am with the holidays. I remember there was a time back then when Food for Less, the supermarket, they used to give out tons of Halloween decorations. And I remember there was a section in the Food for Less. There was like a small section where they did like this haunted, like a little haunted maze or haunted house. And that was at a Food for Less too. I thought that was cool. And which is why I started doing the holiday decorations, because I wanted people to see how exciting it is and how worthwhile it is. And I don't know if people are into that stuff, but I really like looking at holiday decorations. I used to like take pictures of decorations, especially Christmas. Christmas is really pretty. and I would just try to show them on Instagram. But as of now, it's kind of hard, like getting people to view your stuff on Instagram. I feel like people are just not into my stuff anymore on Instagram. But I have seen other people like post mostly reels, like reels, like they're like videos, and they've been getting a lot of views lately. But anyway, it was something I really liked, and I know a lot of people don't watch the holiday decoration ones because it's just like some people might not think it's fun, others might think it's fun, but not everyone thinks it's fun. Other than Spirit Halloween, I'm kind of surprised that a lot of people were into the Spirit Halloween videos. Like recently, I posted a Spirit Halloween video, and right now it's at 1,600 views, and I'm like, wow, I didn't think people would be into that stuff. But I guess they are. I know a lot of little kids love Spirit Halloween. I love Spirit Halloween too. It's a really fun store. In fact, I just did a shopping haul at Spirit Halloween because I'm planning to do like cosplay while playing video games or watching Christmas commercials on Twitch. So if you guys are interested, I'll probably be posting that pretty soon. Um, but anyway, unfortunately, you know how holidays are like temporary. Well, I started doing like I was trying to think of an idea, and then like all of a sudden I'm like, well, what am I really into other than just abandonings and holiday decorations? And so I thought, wait, why don't I do music? Talk about music. And then, the music topics came in. I did one on Motley Crue recently. And Megan Trainor, who I'm not a fan of Megan Trainor anymore because of what she said about teachers. Because I have a family member who's planning to be a teacher, and they work really hard and try to get to do the best that they can to get their credentials, which I'm really surprised that they're still going with it though. And a lot of people started watching my music topics, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I have always been into music. I love music. I've had a really strong connection with music since fifth grade, I think. Most notably sixth grade, because sixth grade, unfortunately, I was dealing with another crisis. Well, I wouldn't say crisis, but it was a traumatizing moment where I was bullied by someone who I thought was a really close friend of mine, but they turned out to be a terrible person in sixth grade. So I started listening to Linkin Park, and yeah, from there it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And around, hold on. Sorry, I need a stretch. Around junior high, it was around the time the emo phase started popping up, and then I started getting into 30 Seconds to Mars, My Chemical Romance, and 3 Days Grace. And then, like, high school, that's when I found more good bands like Pink Floyd, and I listened to the Beatles before, but I don't know. I just thought, who would want to listen to the Beatles as a kid? I thought it was just weird, or it was just for old people. But I really liked the Beatles. Like they became one of my favorite bands, and the Rolling Stones, the Doors, and that's when I decided to do like music topics. But unfortunately, you can't add audio to the music topic videos, which is why you don't see any audio sometimes because of YouTube copyrights. And I don't want to get banned on YouTube. But I know for a fact that if you enter the YouTube creator thing, that you don't get paid for the song that's copyrighted. Like for example, if I decide to add what's popular right now, a song from what's that chick's name? Oh, Olivia Rodrigo on one of my videos, I won't get paid for her song. Like if if I was getting paid on YouTube, it would go to her, or I guess the company that she's uh in a record deal with. And I was kind of surprised a lot of people were into the music topics. And so I started doing that, and then I stopped for a little while because I started doing other things on YouTube like abandonings and decorations. Especially right now, it's kind of hard to do like music topics, but I'm trying to do the best that I can. I remember like right now I'm currently working on the Britney Spears one, which I've already read the book. No, well, I heard it through Audible because I don't have time to read. Honestly, I never have time to read. So right now I'm re-listening to it in case if I missed anything important on the book, which it should be coming out hopefully before the end of the year. I haven't gotten started with the writing process and the script, so I should be working on that. And music was always something I've been really into. Unfortunately, I used to play guitar, acoustic guitar, but I kind of stopped because, like I said, I had other things and I was trying to find jobs. And then I started doing Dark Side of the Ring, which is like wrestling, but it's kind of like WWE. They talk about WWE most of the time. Sometimes they talk about other wrestling promotions, but I was always into the Dark Side of the Ring because the reason why is because, oh god, oh no, what happened? The reason why I got so into WWE Dark Side of the Ring is because it was kind of like it was pretty pretty crazy. I remember when I first watched some of the first season. Well, actually, I watched all the first season. So, oh, and in case you guys want to watch the recent season that just came out this year, it's available on Hulu if you have a Hulu subscription right now. It should be available right now. All the episodes. I know I did reviews on those. Those are it was kind of fun, but it was a bit hard because again, I like to do scripts for my Dark Side the reviews type of videos just to make it more clearly. But I do record and sometimes the audio's like, oh, and this wrestler went to the bathroom and ate all of the toys. I know it comes out weird sometimes because I edit the recording, but I do try to work on that. It's something I've been trying to work on. I know a lot of people have. I know one person recently said that the audio needs some work, and yeah, I understand. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to see something real quick. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Um, So when I started doing the Dark Side of the Ring reviews, I was very shocked with the amount of views I got. Like I have like 400, 500. I'm like, what the heck? So it was something I was always into. I mean, me and my brothers, we grew up watching wrestling. We we started. Well, my brothers got me into wrestling a lot more. My one of my friends who unfortunately became my bully, she was trying to get me to watch wrestling, but at the time I thought it was for guys, boys, and I just couldn't get into it. And but I do remember seeing like The Rock and Stone Cold on TV. My dad would sometimes watch it, and then my brother started watching it, and that's when I got really invested in WWE because of my brothers. They're always influencing me either way. And I've seen and witnessed the dark times of YouTube. I mean YouTube, WWE, and I have a lot to say about WWE, but it just depends on how people are. I mean, I've always been into WWE, but I stopped watching it around the time I was in high school because I didn't like the whole PG era thing, but I have heard about it. And I'm shocked because I know that not a lot of people in the wrestling community in general, all of them, not a lot of them are very nice people. And I try to be as thoughtful and considerate as I can be when it comes to wrestling because I have some opinions that a lot of guys, most notably, might not like. And I have to be careful what I say online because I don't want to offend anyone or get people mad at me. And it's not easy. Like, Sometimes I can get people mad at me for some reason, but I do the best that I can every day, and I try to understand, that not everyone's gonna be your friend, not everyone's gonna be nice to you, and I think when you want to be a YouTuber, or I guess a Twitch streamer in general, you really have to like be careful of who you surround yourself, and also be careful of trying to not let those negative comments affect you in some way, because I know there are some people. Oh God, sorry, it's just I have some lousy neighbors. They're really loud. But not everyone's gonna be nice to you for some reason. I've come across some trolls, not a lot though, which is kind of surprising because I usually expect a lot of people to hate me and be like, "Oh, you're so annoying. Shut up. We don't want to hear what you're saying. Get out. Get out of YouTube." But YouTube always has a way to get rid of the haters. Although I do agree with a lot of people that I think they should have brought back the dislike button, because there are certain YouTubers on here that are not good people, that they should understand that the more dislikes you get, the more you need to realize that what you're doing might not be okay. Like, for example, the Colleen Ballinger ukulele thing. Like, just imagine how many dislikes that video could have gotten right now. I bet a ton. Um, but I think, you know, I've always, when I was in growing up in school, I've struggled with trying to like myself, and because I was bullied and teased, it was a bit difficult at times, but you try to live with your life and move forward as much as you can. And I do go to therapy every now and then. Well, actually, I do go to therapy every single month. So, and but I think it's okay to be like shy at first. When I started out YouTube, I thought I would be okay, but eventually I did find my niche, which my niche was abandoned places, abandoned stores, and music, which I've always loved music, and holiday decorations. I know a lot of people don't watch my holiday decoration videos, but I really like doing them. I think they're really exciting at times. And the Dark Side of the Ring stuff, and then there's I might be doing documentaries pretty soon. Talk about documentaries. Like, I was hoping to do the Aaron Carter one on Hulu, but unfortunately I never got to it because I've been again busy doing other things, and getting by with my life. And I think you also have to understand too that you just have to keep finding what you're interested in. If you're interested in sports, talk about sports. But also be aware that there's gonna be haters, and just because someone hates your content, that doesn't mean that everyone else hates your content. Don't give up on yourself. I know it's hard, and I know it could be very exhausting when people tell you to shut up, and other not so great things. But it just takes a while to find your niche, and make sure when you find your niche, don't let it be something inappropriate. Like, I remember my parents growing up, they would always tell me, don't post anything online that you're gonna regret doing in the future. And I'm like, okay. And looking back at it, I'm kind of glad my parents told me that, because there are a lot of YouTubers that have posted some content that unfortunately to this day haunts them. And also, be aware when you're a YouTuber, don't let it get into your head too much. I try not to either, because I know for a fact that there are a lot of YouTubers. Heck, there's a lot of people on TikTok, Twitch, or wherever. They let the popularity of their channel get to their heads sometimes, and it doesn't always work out pretty good. I mean, it might work for the Logan Paul and Jake Paul fans, but not every YouTuber has a very big following, and I don't know. Maybe that day will come. Well, when they get held accountable, I don't know. But always try to be yourself, and try not to post anything inappropriate either, because that doesn't always work out. Trust me, I've seen it before. um, but regarding your mental health, I would honestly talk with someone close to you, whether it be a therapist or a friend, a family member, someone you're close to, and maybe talk about, like, hey, I want to do a YouTube channel, but I'm kind of nervous and scared that someone's gonna say something and be like, and be really negative about me and try to troll me. But yeah, it's just a work in process. You have to learn how to live with people saying things to you, and don't take it to heart. Not everyone has good intentions, unfortunately. I know because I've witnessed it even before social media started